Jonesy, I don't know about you, mate, but I'm bloody keen to play this weekend.
Mate, I've seen a fair few things at decent odds that I'll have a whack at this weekend.
There is juice right across Australia this weekend. So let's not waste any bloody time. Let's get right stuck in.
We're the juice specialists, mate. We love our juice.
Yes.
Let's find some.
Juice consultants even. Alrighty, mate. Let's kick it off. Horses that caught our eye last week. I have about 10 on my list. Obviously, won't go through them all. But who did you like?
Mate, some Captain Obvious ones. How bloody good was Rothfire in the Run to the Rose? Ooh. And there's some drama that's come out of that race since. Nearly beat the track record. He was unbelievable. And how good were the scenes? Did you see the video at Doomben of all the punters getting around it?
And Robbie Heathcote as well.
Oh, I'll talk about Robbie Heathcote a bit more later on. But Rothfire was unbelievable. And he looks like a commanding 3-year-old. And I think he genuinely is a real chance in the Everest.
Yeah. Don't know if you see Daniel O'Sullivan's work on Twitter. So he puts out all the different ratings and stuff. And he's put him up there with the most elite 3-year-olds that's ever been from like last 10 years. So, super, super keen to watch him. The thing about that as well is that Randwick Rosehill, it started a soft 5. Like, it wasn't a good 3 track that they nearly broke the track record on. Yeah. It was a good 4. Like, it wasn't a rock hard deck. So that makes that even more impressive for mine.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. Cherry Tortoni for mine in Melbourne.
Same here. I've got it too.
Huge run. On a Victoria Derby path. Not much else to say. Just flashing light for mine. Coming right down the middle. Really nice return. Yeah,
I think it'll. It wants a little bit further, but I was very, very happy with that.
Yep. Who else, mate?
Oh, Russian Camelot, without a doubt. Yep. He's got the world at his feet this spring. I'll be backing him wherever he starts next, unless everything's gone against him in the draw. But and then unless there's something else that looks really nice. But gee whiz, he's gonna be very hard to beat whatever he does this spring.
Could be slightly off, but I believe Underwood Stakes into the Cox Plate into the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, I think that's his path. I really like him for the Cox Plate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a stack of internationals during the week that have been confirmed to come over, so he will have some pretty red-hot competition in those, but he's come back really nice. The only query about him is his attitude and his behaviour in the barriers.
Yeah, he plays up a little bit.
He pretty much every time he gets led back out, but bit of hard in your mouth stuff.
You should have seen me. I was out and about, so I just had the race on my phone, and I didn't really have the sound on, so I was trying to see what was happening, and then I could tell it was Russian Camelot sort of taking out the barriers. I was like, "You're kidding! My thing's going to be scratched."
Isn't that the case? Alrighty, I had Tefane, mate, and
fair.
I wrote all this down before she actually got an Everest spot, but that's the best she's run first up. She's come back better than ever.
She'll be great this spring. Yeah,
she was huge. I also had Masked Crusader written down. He was about 5 wide, no cover, did a stack of work. Like, I still think whenever he draws a gate, you might get a bit better of a price now.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he was favourite, wasn't he, in that race? And he ran third?
Yeah, Fatuse beat him.
Fatuse was awesome, actually.
She's a nice girl. Yep. And, mate, my final one, actually my second final one. Yeah. All right, I'm going to do one. Instant Celebrity from Adelaide in the last.
Okay.
Now, she's the new favourite for the 1,000 guineas. Mate, last at the 300 or something. Flew home just to win in the last. Huge run.
Gee whiz, I'll have to check that out because, to be honest, Adelaide replays isn't something that I usually go through.
I don't know. Popped up
Sorry for our South Australian listeners and watchers. I'm sure there's plenty of yous.
The two of you. But, mate, the one... You won't believe this is on my list.
Go on.
The Enigma, Sosi Bon.
I'm not surprised. Last podcast, either you or I said I would not be surprised if Sosi runs a good race.
And I've watched that replay about 10 times. I'm still not convinced he ran third. Like,
yeah.
Master of Wine was way more prominent. I thought Dalasam was more prominent. Like, anyway, ran third, mate. He can feature at a mile to 2,000, lesser grade, Group 1, Group 2.
I think find him in a Group 2 race. If he draws well, right distance, 100%.
Like he's been so much more genuine since he's been gelded. Different horse.
100%, yeah.
Different horse. Biggest money spinner for So You Think progeny. So
yep.
So he's a good animal. Alrighty. Anything else, mate?
No, mate, I just had the 3, but basically every horse you've mentioned, bar the one in Adelaide, completely agree.
I also just quickly had a note here that the Sydney 3-year-olds are far superior than the Melbourne 3-year-olds.
Yeah, certainly.
September Run, Doubtland, went down to Melbourne.
September Run actually was probably an honourable mention, to be honest, for me. Didn't back it this time in, lol. But backed it last start where it was okay without being... phenomenal.
Yes. Alrighty, mate. Polo Recipients this week. So we have a top tier where everyone's looking real nice, a middle tier where you're looking okay, and the bottom tier where you're looking awful. So, your top tier this week, far away, who have you got?
Mate, I've got the great man himself, Robbie Heathcote.
Nice.
Obviously, Rothfire was absolutely outstanding on the weekend, and he set the Doomben track alight with all the punters who were watching that. And my page isn't loading, which is a real frustration right now. But here we go. Basically, just like the post race conversations that people were having with Rob, and I'll just read some quotes from the articles. So let's have a look here. So, Robbie Heathcote is a proud Queenslander who won't be in Sydney as his star horse runs for 1,000 slot holders from the My Runners family in the world's richest turf race on October 17th and blah, blah, blah. And this is Robbie Heathcote. On our number plates, they call Queensland the smart state. It's run by a bunch of dummies that only cared about an election on October 31. Open the borders. This COVID lockdown is stupid and shit. So, he's just coming out swinging and he's just a true blue bloody Queenslander. He used to be like a bus driver in Europe before he was a horse trainer.
Kentucky tour.
Yeah.
Operator.
So he's just one of those fellas who, he's just a bit of a larrikin and loves the horse and you love to see it. And just some of the quotes in that article, it's on RaceNet if anyone wants to check it out. It's absolutely hilarious.
That's funny.
Yeah. So he's my top. He's a purple this week. He's on fire.
A purple?
He's on Rothfire. Not a purple. He's a navy. Jeez. The complete opposite.
Crikey. Mine this week, mate, and I have a bit of a thing with this. It hits me in the feels each time. Gadding. He's my top tier this week. Rest in peace, big fella.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Horrible to see that, but listen to an interview on RSN about him. And they actually sold the trainer, so he was there when the horse was born. Like he's been with this horse right throughout.
Oh, jeez.
And they actually sold a portion of the horse to charity. And
oh, really?
Yeah. So he's basically been running whenever he wins. Portion of his cash goes to a charity.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, he was mine this week. Like he fluked that Group 1 last year, but you can't take it away from him.
Oh, of course you
can't.
Of course you can't.
Yeah, horrible to see, but he was the old boy. Anyway, middle tier, mate.
Mate, Tefano being nommed for the Everest, I think that's great and deserved.
Yep.
So really keen to see that.
Yeah, no, she'll be competitive. She needs a hot speed, which she'll get.
Oh yeah, she'll find that in the Everest. don't know what her price is at the moment, but
would have come in now, but I'd say 15-ish. That would sound right to me.
Yeah, one of the hopes, but not a red hot thing,
mate. When you still have 7-ish spots left, there's no rush. Mine this week, mate, was the Brisbane Lions. So they got a home final this week, confirmed last week, so that's good. But they're going to be playing Richmond in all likelihood, which is not great. But they are also have the claim this week, I saw on Twitter, that they have the most members of any club in Queensland, sorry. So they...
Oh, wow.
I think it's the first time ever they actually have more members than the Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah, well, it's certainly the year for it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a topsy-turvy year.
But
Broncos have gone to absolute shit.
Dip.
And the Lions are going really well, so deserve it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Alrighty, mate.
Oh.
I have a feeling I know who you're going to say, but talk to me.
I'm going to give straight up a purple polo to Huey Bowman for his return to racing on the weekend. And just literally just prior to recording this, punters, we found out that he got 20 days for that ride on Farnan.
I didn't actually see that.
Yeah, on my way here, I saw that on my Instagram feed. So 20 days for that ride on Farnan, and it wasn't just that. It was his nonchalantness in his responses to, I guess, the stewards, media, or whatever, about the ride itself, and just saying, palming off blame wherever he could and not taking ownership. I guess that sort of makes sense pre an actual trial, but coming back from 6 weeks and then doing that, he's not in red hot form. I'll say that.
He's a bit arrogant, isn't he?
Oh, certainly is.
And he had a bit about that when he caused that fatal fall, which got him this first suspension. They were interviewing afterwards, and he's like, "Oh, the other horse shifted out." He took no responsibility in the moment, and that just left a sour taste in my mouth. Mate,
agreed.
People make mistakes. Just come out and own it. Yeah, fair enough, mate. My bottom tier is Gay Waterhouse, and basically all connections of Farnan, because when Farnan did one of his trials, Gay Waterhouse went the early crow 3 times that this fella would not be beaten this preparation.
Yeah, saw that.
So she tweeted out, someone said, "Oh, going a bit early, Gay." She's like, "You look at his trial, he won't be beaten." And then old Huey, during the week, they were asking him, maybe it was on race day, "Any concerns about the ride, mate?" No, he'll win. Of course he wasn't going to win after that. When all that's out in the universe, of course you're going to be brought back.
So much bad juju.
You look at Robbie Heathcote, mate. He's just no, he's going okay. But
he's a good horse.
There's some threats in there, but he knows he's got the best animal. But yeah, Farnan, it's all connections. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, well, in that same article I was mentioning before, regarding Rob Heathcote, he came out and said, "Gay Waterhouse may have the best 3-year-old colt, but I've got the best 3-year-old geldings."
Yeah.
And he's one up.
Fair play. Alrighty, punters. So that is our Polo Recipients this week, but we're going to do things a little bit differently because there's 2 Group 1s across Australia today. So we're going to preview the Quaddie legs in Sydney and in Melbourne, and then we'll touch on our juicy stakes as well and see if there's any. We're going to give you a roughie each way and best bet across both Sydney and Melbourne each. And if they fall outside the Quaddie legs, then we'll basically give our thoughts into that.
Yep. Sounds good, mate.
Cool. Alrighty, mate. Let's start in Sydney. So I believe the first leg of the Quaddie is the feature. So we're going to skip that. Because, mate, we do a deep dive. That's what we do.
We deep dive. We get in there.
Yeah. All right. Just hold, please, because my internet is just taking a little bit. Mate, I believe this is the shorts. Now, this is a cracker.
This is an outstanding race,
Group 2,
isn't it?
set weights, penalties, 1,100 metres. Yeah, bivouac. as the favourite. What are your thoughts?
Mate, I'm going to go against Bivouac
Me
actually
too,
in
mate.
this.
Me too.
Look, he's a great horse. But first up, he can be a bit hit and miss. And I think from that barrier, he just finds himself in a bit of trouble because he doesn't really go forward.
Yep.
Other horse that obviously I'm really keen to watch is Classique Legend, but I'm gonna go with number 10, Dirty Work.
Yep.
Ran third last start in Randwick. Carrying a bit less weight here, and then obviously in that run in Randwick was the Concord, with Nature Strip and G-Tra, and showed a really similar turn of foot to G-Tra. So I figure in this at $7.50 at the price right now, I think it'll settle quite nicely from the barrier.
Mate,
I'll have to throw out the stumps.
I cannot talk you out of that. I don't like Biv either. So he's got Splintex, Eduardo, Ball of Muscle, Grey Worm drawn inside him. He usually sits in the front half. Where's he going to sit? He's going to be 3 or 4 wide.
I think so, yeah.
He's mapped horrifically. Mate, the one who I'm quite keen on is number 7, Standout.
Yeah, great shout.
Hard deck will suit him.
First up form,
mate. He beat what's her name? Elise first up last prep. Blew him away there by nearly 2 lengths over 1,200. I think he's drawn perfectly just to sit. He doesn't need to get right back. He can sit midfield, take a sit behind those going mad up front, and hopefully run it right over the top of them. So,
now again, that I can't talk you out of that bet. Just quickly, what were your thoughts on Eduardo?
Well, did you see that someone chucked like 30 grand on him in the Everest during the week?
I didn't see that, but I heard obviously he's really keen to get into the Everest.
Yeah, like I think his best form's over like trucks with the sting out, and I don't think he'll get that on the weekend. And I just don't know if he's as well suited with a red hot tempo either. So look, concede he'll run a nice race, but rather go with Standout in this one.
Yep, no, play on.
Cool. But, mate, Bivouac, Catalyst, keen to see him return.
Oh, yeah.
Classic Legend, mate, even Bull Muscle could win this. Eduardo, Splintex, Standout, Grey Worm, far out. You've got... all of them could win except the bottom 2, I reckon.
Yeah, it's a stacked race, man.
Yep. No, well, hopefully we get a result, eh?
We'll see. For $7.50, I'll find out.
Won't I? All right. Race 8 on the card, mate, is 2,000 metre contest as my internet loads the Kingston town. Alrighty. Group 3, 2,000 at Randwick. What are your thoughts?
Mate, a tough race. Really hard to dissect. Few horses I've backed in this before, and we've backed Zabrowski this prep. And I thought it looked pretty good in this, to be honest. Yep. But I'm going to go against it. I'm going to chuck in Shared Ambition in the Quaddie. I'm not going to play in this race too hard, but I think Shared Ambition, whilst its first 2 runs this prep have been bang average, it looks to be from previous preps too good of a horse to not run a race here. Barrier's a concern. I'm not going to lie, but I think with J-Mac on the back, he'll be able to get into a pretty good position. And yeah, look, happy to chuck it in the Quaddie. I think it's too good of a horse to not run a good race here. The distance is more suited. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, can't talk you out of that. Think he's starting to get to a distance which is going to suit. Interesting thing that I saw about him is that he's 3 from 3 going the Melbourne wave going, and which is interesting. So I think he likes his Melbourne leg a little bit more. Mate, I agree with you that Zabrowski's the one that I think could run a really nice race. Team Hawks said on Tuesday that that's their best bet of the weekend. So can't deny that, he's a good winning chance. but I have gone for one that is seemingly impossible to catch.
Oh, I think I know who you're going to go, and this thing I think will finish top 3. If I think I know what you're going to go for.
Number 2, Life Less Ordinary.
Yeah, mate. I think it stacks up pretty nicely in its form, and its profile looks good in this race.
Right. Let me tell a little bit of story for you.
All right, go on then.
2,000 meters, tick. Soft draw, tick. Second up profile, tick. Mate, his profile in general, he's an old boy, but tick, tick, tick.
Mate, yeah, great shout.
I think last time he was in a Group 3, 2,000 metres at Royal Randwick, he pulled everyone's pants down.
Didn't he just? I remember that day.
Beat Shared Ambition, Graceful Glamour. I think he's well over the odds at 18 to 1 at the price I'm currently looking at. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like a lot of these stayers in this. I think they're either looking for further or all the speed's drawn out as well.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know. It's a really...
Don't you hate that when you're looking at the form, you're like, yeah, look, that looks good. Oh, the price, that's a bit funny. Why is it that high?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's drawn the car park.
Mm.
Yeah, look, like I said, mate, I'm not super keen to play in that race. But I'll be chucking Shared Ambition in the Quaddie.
Yeah. I'm keen to have a go at Life Less Ordinary.
At the price.
Mate, I'll be playing some exotics around him, Zabrowski, and probably something else, but TBC. Alrighty.
TBC.
Get out stakes, mate. Your thoughts? Bit of a Rubik's Cube, this one.
It is a bit of a Rubik's Cube. Look, I'm jumping off ice bar.
Thank God.
Because the last few runs have just let me down, and I think it'll find one better than this, as it usually does. One horse that I backed last start that was okay, willing to forgive, was actually an emergency, but there's been scratching. So number 17, Achana. It looks to be a decent horse. I think it's related to the Autumn Sun. I think this distance is more suited. I think you should sit quite nicely with Kathy O'Hara on the back. Again, I'm not too keen to play in this race, but I think at $14 I'm willing to have a go each way on it. Look, yeah, nothing more really I can say other than that.
All right, I'm going to butcher this name, but James Cummings today said that number 9, Criaderas, if that is indeed your name, will be awfully hard to beat. 3 starts, 3 wins, sure, but
Criaderas,
maybe. I haven't got it on top. I just don't know enough about it. I've gone number 14, Patronus on top. Ran behind all-time legend last start and Air to Air. It's got a nice little draw here. Timmy Clark should be able to control things out front and usually improves out in distance and second up. So I think he's worth a spec. Again, mate, I'm not too keen on this one either.
I'm just interested to see where Achana goes, and his profile reads pretty good for the race, and yeah, like I said, at the odds each way, why not?
Sounds good, mate. Alrighty, let's take a quick break, but we'll be back in a tick. Perfect, we're back.
Hello.
Let's get into it, mate. Caufield, first leg of the Quaddie. What are your thoughts?
Love fillies. Firstly, just want to come out and say that. How good are fillies? Look, lightly raced animals in this, so won't be giving it an absolute whack. But I do like number 2, Aidensfield. So it ran second to Night Raid last start, and Dirty Thoughts ran third in that race. Not Dirty Work, Dirty Thoughts. And they both look to be pretty smart fillies. So I can see it sitting pretty nicely off the leaders, and should have every opportunity to run over the top of them. Happy to see how it goes. Nice
one. I've got this between 2. Got it between the 2, Aidensfield, and number 4, Mozzie Monster. Went back, looked at this filly's last 2 wins today, which have been over 3.5 lengths and 3.5 lengths both times.
Yeah, right.
Super impressive. One in the heavy, one on a good track, I believe. And absolutely dominant. One was she ran from the back. One she was sat out wide near the speed. So I think she's a pretty smart animal. Now, her first run was only, a month ago. There's been one winner since then, so I don't know if that form is red hot yet.
Yeah.
So that's the only query for mine. But look, I saw enough to put her on top for me. She looks a proper horse. So I think she's joint favourite with Instant Celebrity in the 1,000 Guineas. So
okay,
yeah, she'll look awfully hard to beat, I believe. Cool, mate. So is race 7? This is the
it's a Group 3 naturalism.
It is naturalism. That's the one.
2,000 meters.
How good, mate? I didn't mind this race. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. The biggest challenge for me was convincing myself to jump off Canaan.
You've done it a couple of times this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, look, time for a change. I've had a couple of shockers, so jump off and obviously they'll all win now. So there's some hot tips for you punters. But there's a couple of things I don't mind in this. You know, number 9, Order of the Garter, number 12, To Beard, but I actually have landed on the number 14, Gamekeeper. He was unbeaten last prep, and he's finished on the podium both starts this time around. So I think he'll sit nicely again off pace in this race. I think he showed enough turn of foot last start to give me some confidence.
Yeah, no, can't disagree with you there, mate. I think, out to this distance suits him a lot better. The jump up from 1,200 to 1,700 probably was his undoing last time, but he should be rock hard fit now. This one, mate, dipping back into the well, Dr. Drill again. So he hasn't drawn the car park this time. Saw enough first up. I think he'll be awfully hard to beat. A lot of these will need to win to actually make the Caufield Cup, but I've heard there's been a couple of big bets on Canaan already. I just haven't seen enough from him.
Oh, look, he is suited to this. He is. Those first 2 starts this prep, I just didn't see enough to want to back him again. I've been burnt before, and I won't be burnt again.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm keen on Dr. Drill. I think he maps quite nicely for this. So
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, keen on him. Alrighty, mate. Let's skip the feature, and we'll go into the Get Out Stakes. The How Now Stakes, 1,200 metres, Group 3, mares, set weights, penalties. Your thoughts?
Oh, mate, I'm happy to be all over the favourite number 6 Liar in this. She was unlucky last start, and that's unfortunately it's a bit of a common theme for her. But she's back to her own sex in this. Ironically, she was beaten by a mare last time. But she hasn't finished outside the trifecta in this distance. Likes the track, and I think she's drawn nicely, so I'm all over that.
Listen to Gator today, and he was saying that she's the best weighted horse all weekend. Like, you look at her rating, 104 rater, and she's got 55 kilos. She's weighted pretty well. I don't know. She's just a little bit of a non-winner for mine. Might be a bit harsh. Like, she's got 20% winning strike rate, but a lot of those were in her first prep. So, all right, let's have a look. Last time she won is 81 weeks ago, and she's $2.70 favourite. She was great first up, but at that price, not for me.
Play on.
For me, Hummer showed enough for me. I believe that diamond effort form is going to be red hot, and this girl was only a length away. There's already been a subsequent winner from that race, so I think it's a nice little bet. She'll Need a stack of luck from the barrier, but she typically runs on quite quick. So, yeah, I think she will be the one that gets me the chockies. Alrighty, mate. Let's deep dive into the first feature in Sydney, the George Main. And before we do, mate, it's my little favourite thing to do each week, which is to give you some stats.
Hit me. I love them.
When the race originated, what do you reckon?
Oh, what did I say last time? 1920s, and it was a post-Second World War.
Yep.
I'm going to go with post-Second World War again, but I'm going to go 1950s.
Oh, you're close. Second World War, 1945.
Okay, there you go.
Previous winners, Winks, More Joyous, Long Row, Kingston Town. Pretty good. Winner is exempt from the Epsom handicap, so you win and you're in. I don't think a few of these will be going there. I know one that definitely is, and I'm keen on that race and not in this.
Go on.
No winner since 2010 has finished outside the top four in their previous run, in their lead-up run, which, looking at these, all of them can win except Colette, because they all finished within the top four.
It's one of those races too.
Well, there's only 7 of them. And Avilius, Big A, won it last year.
Yep, I remember that race.
What are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, firstly, cracking race and chances across the park. I can't go past VE. I really can't. She was so impressive first up, and usually she improves drastically second and third up. But she showed so much in the Winks that I can't go against her in this. I think from that barrier she'll sit pretty comfortably in a small field and have the best opportunity to win.
Yeah, and I totally agree, which is why I pretty much disregard her in the Winks first up. Like, she was impressive first up in the autumn, very impressive. And I basically followed her for the rest of the spring, autumn after that. But she does her best work second, third, fourth up. Once she gets into a preparation out to further, which she gets here, she'll be awfully hard to beat. The other thing that she did from last prep was she actually learned how to take a position closer to the speed when there's no speed in the race, which there's none in this. There's Dreamforce, which is going to lead. Who else? Colding might take a sit.
Yeah.
But Star of the Seas goes back. Colette goes back. Avilius goes back. Colding, he'll sit just off the speed. Imogen goes back. Like, there's no speed in this.
Yeah, she'll get an easy run.
Yeah.
Like, comfortable with having her on top.
Yep.
I am interested to see how Colding goes, though, because he ran really well last race, and it was great to see him return to form. So if he runs a nice race here, I think he'll have a good spring.
Yeah, agreed, mate. Agreed. So on the same page, VE on top. Your trifecta for yours?
Oh, this was tough, actually, because I really like Star of the Seas in this as well. But I'm going to go VE on top. I'm going to go Avilius second and Star of the Seas third.
Avilius second?
Yeah, I think Avilius should run a nice race. But Colding was... If I had to do a box try, Colding would be in there as well.
Okay. Avilius for mine, he just wants further than a mile. He stays at the mile here. And I don't know, if he's on a Melbourne Cup path or Cox Plate, whatever he is, yeah, surely he wants further. But yeah, he did run super first up. So trying to talk you out of it, but there's no point. VE on top for me. Dreamforce, I reckon she'll just scoot past him, but he's the only speed, so he should dominate things up there. And I was quite impressed with Colding. Had him in the trifecta last time. Keep him in there. Why not? Imaging's the one, punters, that I've already got at the price in the Epsom.
You have.
He looks a nice one. Wait for ages in his go. He'll be suited back to a handicap. Alrighty, mate. The feature in Caufield. Now, I don't think that this is necessarily Group 1 standard, but it's a cracking race. There's a lot of chances. But before we get into it, mate, before we do it...
I was jumping the gun, wasn't I?
Yeah. 1951 it started.
Okay. So I got the right decade for the wrong race.
Yes. There's been 7 name changes for this race.
7?
7. And it was once called the Marlborough Cup, as in the Smokes.
Why'd they change that?
I don't know.
Terrible form.
In the 70s, of course. It's been a Group 1 since 1979.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. So when this race would have been the first Group 1, it would have been the Marlborough Cup. Different era, isn't it?
Mate, the jockeys probably had a dart just before the race and just after.
Mate, all the old school ones still would. Alrighty. So, of the last 28 winners, 21 of them have been on horses that have carried 49 to 55.5 kilos. So it is a handicap, so the weights do tell the tale a lot of the time. So that's, 75% of the time.
That influenced my betting.
17 of the last 30 winners have been entires, so horses or colts. And there's only been 4 mares in that time, in the last 30 winners.
Oh, really? Okay.
Only 2 winners have finished worse than 4th in their lead-up run over the last 20 years. Only 2 winners over the last 20 years. So, recent form, you want something light in the weights. Bit different with COVID this year because everyone goes up 2 kilos.
Yep.
But in summary, mate, that's the race. So, what are your thoughts? Who do you like on top?
Well, mate, that really influenced my betting, the weights. I think the Memsie Stakes winner Behemoth at 60 kegs, I think that's too much for this. So I'm going to go against him. I really like Banquo in this, number 16. Bottom weight. Ran nicely in the Bobby Lewis last start. And generally from memory, the Bobby Lewis has always been the week before, and the form's held up pretty nicely in this. Look, I don't think from barrier 6 that Banquo should find that much trouble, and I think it'll sit just behind the obvious leaders like Be Good to Your Mother and Dollar for Dollar, I assume. I think it'll get every opportunity to run a good race, and with the lighter weight, hoping it can run over the top of him. $10, I'll find out.
Yeah. Why not, mate? Just looking through his form now to see if he's won on the quick backup. I don't think so. He ran within a length, so I don't necessarily think
there or thereabouts.
Yeah, and no, he was good, mate. And the one that I really can't understand out of the Bobby Lewis at the price is who I made a small case for last week was Dollar for Dollar. Mate, $31. They crossed the line at the same time, and yeah, I don't understand that. You're getting, 3 times the price, $31 for Dollar looks a stupid price.
The only thing it could be is the weight, but it's only 2 kilos, so that's not really an issue.
Yeah, this distance seems to suit him as well, $1 for Dollar, which a lot of these it does suit, but they're not my on-toppers, mate. I've gone back to the well with the boy who's been very good to me. Number 15, rather. Who's number 3? Be Good to Your Mother. No, thanks. Learn from last start. Number 15, Tagaloa.
Yeah, I thought Tagaloa was a real chance.
I like the colt in this. So apparently, looking at the weights, apparently he's weighted awfully at 54 kilos. If you look back at the Memsie, Glenfiddich would have had 51 or 52. But the run that Glenfiddich had actually gave Trent Buston and Natalie Young a bit more confidence.
Okay.
They were like, okay, the 3-year-olds actually measure up against the older horses, so they chose this race. He's a colt. They would want to get another Group 1 on that CV, so he becomes even more expensive at stud. The one thing about this horse, which got me to tip him in the Blue Diamond, was he always improves after his first up run. he explodes second up. I think out to 1400, he's been wanting that for a while. Michael Walker, he's really keen on the horse. Hopefully he'll ride it out this time. But yeah, I think he'll win this.
Mate, I cannot fault that. I've got Tagaloa in my trifecta, alongside Cascadian. So I've got Banco on top, Tagaloa second, and then Cascadian running a third because I just like that horse. I think other chances, Superstorm and Age of Chivalry.
Gee, so you're really sacking Behemoth.
Oh, and Behemoth as well. I did forget about you, Behemoth, just then. But no, I just think, I think the weight's a bit too much for him.
Well, the thing is like he's nearly a 600 kilo horse. Like
he's a big
unit,
big boy.
Like that's rough weights. Is that the equivalent of us carrying like 60 grams or something? That's the way I think of it. So I don't really know if the weights are that much of a hindrance, but you never know.
The stats of the race suggest otherwise, I guess.
Yeah, they do. But I don't know. I just don't. He's drawn better, but the thing for me for Behemoth is that last start that was an anomaly. He doesn't start that well ever. He's done it once in his career. I'm not sure if he'll do it again. So, and he'll just bigger field here too. So he might get stuck behind. Might look the hard luck story. Age of Chivalry could win this as well. This has been its target for a year. But I couldn't sneak it into my top three.
I really liked it, but yeah, I couldn't either.
So I got Tagaloa on top. I have Superstorm running second, and I have Behemoth running third.
Okay, fair enough.
Cool.
Geez, that trifecta of mine would pay a bit.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You have to have $1 on it now. Have to.
More than $1. Let's give it a whack.
Another $1.
Another one.
Alrighty, mate.
Another one.
We'll have another quick break and then we'll jump into the juicy stakes. Alrighty. And just like that, mate, we're back.
We are back.
Getting into our favourite segment, the Juicy Stakes, where we try and raise some money for living legends. They actually gave us a shout out on Twitter and Instagram.
Did they?
$50 was the mark, clearly, that they needed to see to actually hit us up. That's all right. It went down by... No, it ended up being a length in the end, but Travi, my friend, breaking hearts.
It was a great run, to be fair to the thing.
It was.
I was heartbroken.
I was too. All right. Before we jump in, mate, I want to do a bit of a recap from last week. So, our roughies.
Yep.
So, I had Mildred in Melbourne, ran quite well, but didn't feature. And I also had Flit, who beat Positive Peace.
Oh, I owe you another 6-pack, don't I?
You do.
Oh, shit.
So, I reckon what we do...
Hold off for a carton. Is that what you're doing?
No, we're holding off till the end of the season.
Okay,
Then we'll, because if things even out, then we'll deal with it at the time.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
Each way, for mine, Yonkers ran well, but didn't quite salute. He just got way too far back. Fierce Impact won, which was nice.
Well done.
Which was nice. Who was your each way? Do you remember?
No, I don't, unfortunately.
Oh, no, yours got scratched.
That's right.
Yeah, yours
Forever Free,
yeah.
which is actually running on Saturday.
Yeah. And then our best, Windstorm and Moanga. Moanga was nice, wasn't it?
Moanga was good. You had a good weekend, mate.
Yeah.
Fierce Impact, Russian Camelot running second. Polo Punt Club got the Quinella.
Yeah.
Great to see.
All right, let's get stuck in, mate. Let's start in this Sydney.
Right, okay.
Actually, we'll just go roughies each way as best bets, but we'll go Sydney to Melbourne.
Play on.
All right, Sydney, who's your roughie?
So I've got in race 3, number 10, Chinquaita. If that's how you pronounce it. Chinquaita?
Mm-hmm.
So it caught my eye a few weeks ago, if you can remember correctly. Yeah, so it ran a few weeks ago in the race that I think it over won. And it had a really nice turn of foot, which is against the pattern of the day. I think it finished like 4th or 5th or something. But like the look of it in this race. It's drawn nicely. It'll be fitted for its last run, well into its prep, but it's shown before well into its prep, it still does well. So at $11, that's almost too good to be true.
Mate, happy.
It's not really a roughy. It's sort of roughy prices. It's like a mix between each way and a roughy price. But yeah, anything over $10, maybe a roughy.
Yeah, I chucked one in at 12s earlier in the season. Ideally, I reckon we go over 15s.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
But that's all right. That's all right, mate. We're all learning, aren't we? Yeah, Life Less Ordinary for me. Race 8, number 2. Looks stupid odds. It was $20 earlier in the week. That's gone. So yeah, I think he'll look a great chance. Melbourne, mate.
Melbourne, I couldn't really find a roughie I really liked, mate.
I had to find one outside my top selection. So I went I'm Eloquent in the Last, the 5. This girl has form around Keelong from Adelaide and Ghana. Ran within a length of them. First up, last prep. She's $23 here. Ollie on the back. Could be a nice day for Trent Buston and Ellie Young, because I like another one of theirs earlier in the card. So, yeah, she could run a race, but she's not my on-topper. But, yeah, I think she could run a race.
Mate, it's all good.
Alrighty. Yeah, each way, mate. Back to Sydney.
In the first, one of our personal favourite trainers, Bjorn. Bjorn Baker with Prime Candidate.
Yes.
Number 1.
I have it on top.
Well. Timmy Clarke on top. He'll get it to a nice position and lead it nicely. $6 is a stupid price in my opinion. Ran really well last start.
Yeah.
And has had a really good prep. So I like Prime Candidate. I think $6 is a great price. You'll get your money back if it places. I think it'll come in though. But also want to keep an eye out on number 2, Grand Piano, which is a horse that I backed through the winter. Changed trainers.
Strange that.
Yeah, so I don't want to back it because of that.
Synthetic hoof filler as well.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, keen to see how it goes, but I'll be on Prime Candidate.
Yeah, nice. Can't talk you out of that one. Standout for me in the shorts, like tough race, but juicy odds for mine. Pardon me. So I think he'll run a nice race for me in Caufield, mate.
Mate, in Caufield, horse we just mentioned, Forever Free, which is in race 3, number 9. It was a stupid price, I thought, in that race last week. Got scratched, unfortunately, but it's running in Caufield, so it's unbeaten. Draws nicely in this. Rates really highly, I think. $5. It's a nice each way price, in my opinion.
Yeah, I found that race a little bit difficult. I went with the 1 Valaquenta on top. Went a little bit amiss last prep, but it's been gelded now. And James Cummings gave a nice little push for it. So, happy to have him on top.
I have another one as well. So, race 5, number 13, was my roughie a couple of weeks ago, 1,000 Wishes. It's $7.50 now. Ran really well last start. And first up, ran third. $7.50 in this. Bit of a wider barrier. But I'll have a play at that price. It'd be stupid not to.
I'm sticking with the horse that beat her home last start. So you swing, stays on the hard track. That's her go, I reckon. Yeah, she's drawn nicely. Hopefully she'll get the chockies. Alrighty, mate. It's that time. Who's your best bet in Sydney?
In Sydney, race 4, number 3, Hungry Heart.
Oof.
Look, there's an obvious horse in that as well that is also going well.
Dame.
Yeah.
Giselle.
But, I think Hungry Heart looks a better horse.
Yep.
So I like it. And I'm happy to have it as my best bet in Sydney.
How good, mate. Also keen to see Montefilia in that, the 8. She is my really early Oaks selection. She'll want
That
further.
is early.
Yeah, she'll want further. But she's been pretty impressive. Done it on only soft tracks, I believe, to date. So keen to see what she does on top of the ground. For me, mate, I just can't get away from this girl, and I honestly can't believe the price, and it's gone. Looking at it right now. Race 5, number 5, Probabile.
Ridiculous price.
Opened up $4.40, which can't believe.
$3.30 now.
Yep, which is a crying shame. But yeah, obvious danger for mine is the 7 Reloaded.
Yeah, of course.
Look, a lot of these are actually dual accepted in Newcastle as well, which is going to become a little bit of an issue. So like the Candyman, I think Quackerjack, Le Remain, maybe even Chief Ironside, maybe Rahiran accepted in Melbourne. So I reckon she could even start shorter, unfortunately, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, Reloaded, obviously made a big push for him first up, but Probabile, and he sticks to 1400 here, which, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
I'm with you on Probabile.
Yep. Alrighty, mate. In Melbourne, who's your best?
Can't go past Liar as my best of the day. It's a tough card to find something that looks to be really dominant.
Yep.
But for mine, I think this is Liar's race. I think it'll get a win for the first time. What did you say?
81
weeks.
Fingers crossed.
Gee whiz, just put the knocker on her.
Alrighty. Mine is race 4, number 7, Front Page. Cannot wait to see this boy back.
Yeah. So fair. I think it's really, really good in that race. Draws well, reads well. Tick, tick, tick. First up.
So, only 4 months ago, like he beat horses over less than 1,200 metres by 9.5 lengths. There's been 4 winners from that race. In Albury, but I don't know. I think he's the favourite for the Kosciuszko, deservedly so. Octane's the danger, but I reckon he'll get
I think he'll get the JD.
He'll get the chockies for us. Alrighty, mate. So, out of all those, who are you most keen on? Because we need to chuck 2 in.
I think I prefer Liar to Hungry Heart because I think Dame Giselle is a real threat.
Mm-hmm.
Liar.
Probabile for me.
Play on.
Yep. So we'll chuck Liar and Probabile in a multi this week. We're going to skip the Polo Punt Club multi this week because I haven't prepared anything. But that's all right. It's been going dip anyway. So, guys, that's the show this week. Thanks for listening. Yeah, give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter. Have a watch on YouTube if that's how you do things. But and obviously we're available wherever you listen to your podcast. But until next week, good punting.
Best of luck, guys. Have a good weekend.